Again, Nico Diaz and Damian Barker-John getting set to come onto the pitch. A couple of substitutions here midway through this first half. Good run from Adukevich, punted away. And now Diaz and Barker-John will come on.
Well, you know how I feel about Damian Barker-John. I think this kid is electric.
Yeah.
And this is a great opportunity for Louisville. It had kind of gotten stale the last few minutes for the Cards after a promising start of exposing some space. And bringing on both Diaz and Barker-John is going to help them maybe spread things out a little bit more.
Barker-John, not highly recruited. Louisville got to him earlier than most, particularly at the Power 5 level. And John Michael Hayden told us early in the year he just fits the system so perfectly. Here is Barker-John with the turnover. Barker-John, nothing from the referee. Now perhaps a whistle, but no bookings.
Little sparks flying. That's what he does. He comes on the field and he just gets the ball at his feet and he just sends sparks flying. Now let's see here. Of course, the defenders respecting him. Probably took one too many touches. I don't think that's a penalty just because the touch right before it was heavy and into an area that he would not have been able to recover it. But still, just the ability to get there and be dangerous is something that this kid can bring to Louisville every time he's on the field.
Now an opportunity for Evansville. Barcia. Deflected away. Barker-John clears it out. Dankwa. Lots of space. So dangerous in these moments. Nico Diaz. Touched aside by Colosito. A run from Nkosi Graham. Bryce LaBelle gets in his way, plays it back to Troutman. Kai Phillip will now come on for Nkosi Graham, who is just an electric player up top for Evansville. And then David Bacuzzo, who has just routinely gotten more and more playing time off the bench. And Bacuzzo did have a goal against NC State. It was his first goal of the season. So he is coming into form here midway through the fall.
And that's one area that I've been kind of wondering if Louisville is going to need to find more depth beyond that starting three in the midfield. And Bacuzzo just gives you that solidity. He's a good defensive player. And some goal scoring is nice.
It just kind of goes back to your point about John Michael Hayden. The depth of this team feels like he can rotate players in and out and not lose a step. And more than that, shake things up, play a little bit differently, make the defense adjust.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is all about. When you build depth, it's not just a number of bodies to fit exactly what you want. It's also a bunch of bodies that have some different attributes and traits. They're all human beings. They're all different players, and they can give you that versatility.
Moment now for Barker-John. Pings it off the post. And he'll want that one back. A couple of near misses in this first half now for the Cards.
That is the type of play that just mortifies a coach. I mean, that ball just ran along the entire goal line. Good goalkeeping to get a finger to it. But Damian Barker-John, good contacts. And they talked about a little bit of unlucky efforts on the attacking end for Evansville recently. Well, they got a little luck defensively there. Saved by the woodwork.
Does have a goal already this season, does Barker John. I have a feeling he'll have a couple more chances here tonight with the way that this match has gone. Louisville has had lots of space, hasn't amounted to much. But you would think at some point in time that finishing touch would emerge.
Yeah, these subs have come on here in this front three and given them a little something different, and it sure seems like they're getting that confidence back that was fading a little bit before they came on. But give Evansville credit. So far, they've figured out how to just do enough to keep Louisville at bay.
This has a similar feel to the match that these two played a season ago. Louisville out shooting Evansville by 15. Now Barker John again. Rebound opportunity cleared away by Evan Decker.
What did I tell you? This kid is absolutely electric. Great first touch. And really got a lot of power. It was a tight angle, but still really good stuff. Look at this, Matt. What a first touch this is. Gets it into his path. Second touch was really good, too. And, again, tight angle. He's got a runner there. I think McManus was saying, hey, maybe play that across. But still, just a really smart player, DBJ. I'm going to start calling him that, DBJ. Electric talent.
Freshman out of Queens, New York. Here is Adukevich. Trying to link up with Josh Jones, the 6'5" former All-State hooper from the state of Pennsylvania. Now Bakuzo serves it back in. Adukevich on the back end. Barker John wins it back for Louisville. Evansville bending a little bit more than we saw in the opening 15-25 minutes of this half. Louisville have had some more chances. There's another look at that foul. Not a whole lot there, but Barker John gets it back for Louisville nonetheless, and it's a restart opportunity for Adukevich.
Not only is he a tricky player, that was a really good usage of his body to get in between the defender and the ball and win that.
11 minutes left in the opening half. This match was tied 0-0 going into the halftime locker room a season ago. Adukevich trying to end that. And once again cleared away. Fred Hall zips it back ahead. And finally, some breathing room for the Purple Aces.
Well, that was also just a smart play there to take the contact, absorb it, win the foul, and relieve some pressure here, catch your breath. But if you're Louisville, you're feeling like something's coming here, just fighting against those final 10 minutes on the clock.
Well, now Nico Diaz will come off. And Tancredi Fada will come on, the freshman from Italy. So their top goal scorer coming off. Interesting move here in the closing 10 minutes of the first half.
Well, it gives them a little bit of some size up front. They haven't been able to get in behind Evansville, but This will force Louisville to think a little bit differently defensively, but also, how about shout out to Monza, Italy, a home of Formula One racing. Home of a very important aspect of it.
You would know that.
I would. Drive to Survive, man. That's quite the series.
You can watch that after this match concludes tonight.
That is in the plans.
Brown leading Boston College out in Chestnut Hill, 1-0. Still some time left here in the first half out east. And these midweek matches are always tricky, right? Because the ACC is so tough. 6 teams in the top 25 regularly throughout the season, sometimes more. And it's a grind of a season.
It absolutely is. And don't sleep on the Ivy League schools. They got some talent in that league. Spent a lot of time when I was a kid as a corner here for Louisville coming up, watching my brother's alma mater, Brown. He didn't play for them, but he would take us to their games. High quality soccer in the Ivy League, a lot of talent.
All right, so the 5th corner of the night for the Cards, trying to break this scoreless tie. It was a good flick there from Bradley Sample. Nobody home, though, back post. Diaz tracks it down, keeps it in. McManus, the one-timer, blocked away by the freshman, Landon Amick.
How about the young fella? Seeing the forest through the trees, get down quickly. That was really well struck, too, from McManus. And that is a very, very good save to build on the rest of this game.
Marshall Ray told us he felt like Amick was going to be the guy in the next couple of seasons. Sprung into action tonight. Back post, and it skirts wide. LaBelle was right there. Ball at his feet. Couldn't quite get his toe on it.
And I think Amick, the kid from Vegas, taking a gamble coming off his line there. Poking away. Look at this. I'm pretty sure, he got a paw on it. And he had to. That's good goalkeeping.
Rising to the occasion in his first collegiate start against a top 15 side that hasn't lost since early September. For the Cards, you got to go all the way back to their loss against Duke on this field September the 10th. It's been exactly a month since this team has tasted defeat. 6 in a row without a loss, 4 wins, and back-to-back shutout victories over NC State and Notre Dame. Alu Wagner comes on for John Varela. Another freshman, this one out of Germany. Wagner, one of 15 true freshmen on this roster.
And a great chance to help the Purple Aces here finish this half. If you go in at halftime 0-0, the way this game is played out, you're pretty happy if you're Evansville.
Same thing we saw last year, right? An opportunity to regroup at the halftime break. Down goes Decker, and the official has pointed to the spot. Penalty opportunity for the Purple Aces here with a shade over 5 minutes left in the first half.
Well, you bide your time defensively, and you try to spring a counterattack. And it's difficult when you're the team on the front foot. Your defenders having to come back. That's how things get out of hand in just a split second there. And Fada getting that one touch. That's tough, but I think that's the right call. He just got the one touch out from Jones, and Jones sticks the foot out. The referee had some help from his assistant referee, and now this is a big moment in this game.
Oliver Hall, who does not have a goal yet this year for Evansville, will take the penalty kick. Ryan Troutman in goal for Louisville. Coming off back-to-back clean sheets. Here's Hall. And it's saved! What a stop! Ryan Troutman keeps it a 0-0 game.
Well, if you're Louisville, that's the quintessential ball don't lie moment. You didn't think it was a penalty? Well, your goalkeeper stopped it. And if you're Evansville, you cannot get shaken by that. You got to figure out a way to keep fighting and see if you can get another opportunity against the run of play.
Stopped it on the doorstep. Looked like he might have pinned it against the post as well.
Really good goalkeeping. I'm excited to see that again. I mean, just a really, really good save from Troutman. We know he's a good shot stopper, but that's also requires scouting and a good guess.
He's trying to keep that streak of clean sheets alive. Here's another look at it.
Yep, I mean, read it all the way. And I think when you're a goalkeeper, right there, you notice he's starting to open his hips. I mean, that is telegraphing exactly where it's going. It's a nanosecond. It's not a split second. It's a nanosecond for the goalkeeper. But if you have quick reflexes, you can see that and know where you need to go. Great save.
Now Vivas. Jose Vivas, a tricky player, also from Spain. And it's out of play and back to the Cards.
If you ever... Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
Well, he was just the freshman of the year last year at the MVC, one of their talented players.
Yeah, they've got a lot of them. The thing I was going to say is this is why you see a lot of penalty takers now do them straight on. Because if you show yourself a little bit too much a goalkeeper who's smart, like Troutman, they'll be able to quickly react to that and connect their body to their brain in a way that they can get over to where they need to get over so quickly.
Makes you wonder, too, about that decision to sub off Nico Diaz. He probably would have been the one to take that penalty. He's a top 20 scorer in the country.
Yeah, and he's a little bit smaller, too. It would be maybe a little bit less telegraphed. I don't know. It's hard to say, but yeah, that could potentially be a
I think you're just
moment.
making a case for the little guy right now.
You know me.
All right, 3 minutes left here. The first corner of the night for Evansville. And punched away by Troutman. Couple of excellent stops here late in the first half. And it's back to the Cards. There is Nico Diaz right there.
Strong fist. Matt, two goalkeepers who have played very, very well in this first half.
We certainly have seen the freshman Landon Amick standing tall. He's played 7 minutes of college soccer in his career. That was last week against Bradley because the starter, Vizioni, went out with a late red card.
You can't tell from the first 45 minutes the way Amick has played. That kid has been excellent. Troutman's been excellent. It's been a really fun night for fans of good goalkeepers.
Evansville's flipped this a little bit. It was lots of Louisville, although nothing to show for it for the first 30, 35 minutes. Lately, Evansville has given Troutman some tests.
Two goalkeepers from two gambling power centers in the United States, Louisville and Las Vegas.
You like that, don't you, Jeff?
Yeah. Well, we're only a stone's throw away from Churchill Downs.
Dankwa into the middle for Bakuzo. Diaz. Now Sample. Trying to chip it ahead. He was looking for Brandon McManus. Nothing there, and Hald clears it away momentarily. Final 60 seconds of the first half.
1 minute remaining in the first
If you were to bet
half. 1 minute.
on adjustments in the second half, what would you say?
Well, I think Louisville's got to figure out a way to continuously get into those wide areas because they've been able to get some success with their either overlapping fullbacks or guys like Damian Barker-John or George Elitis, Makumba Ba, but they've gotten away from it at times, and I think that has shown that they might be able to generate more chances And that's the biggest adjustment for them. If you're Evansville, look, you're probably pretty happy defensively. And just keep up the effort there, and you just got to be sharp on your counters and see if you can get another chance.
Just has such a similar feeling to the match that we had last year between these two teams. A match in which Evansville and Louisville went into the halftime locker room, nodded at 0-0. Tonight, same story. Although Evansville does have a missed PK saved by that man, Ryan Troutman. Their man, Landon Amick, the freshman from Las Vegas, Nevada. 4 saves in that first half. A couple of them were major saves, keeping the ball out of the back of the net for the Cards. Keepers have been the storyline so far. Took Louisville to the 86th minute a season ago to score against this Evansville team. It was Saunder Road off a set piece, and then 2 minutes later, Abu Kamara on a ball that wasn't cleared, got it at his foot, put it home, and that was the one that sealed the deal. Cards 10-4 all time against Evansville. Not exactly a local derby, but these two schools not separated by much. Less than 2 hours between these two programs.
The war down I-64.
There you go.
Or something.
Something along those lines. That sounds right. Kamara back to start the second half. He and Brandon McManus all season long have been trading at that number 9 spot. Pacuzzo edged off the ball. What'd you make of Louisville's attack overall in those first 45 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they generated some chances. There was some good goalkeeping, but they certainly had their opportunities. They just have to be tidier in front of the frame.
Wagner pushed aside by Philip Fredhall. Certainly does not feel like 70 degrees out here.
I was going to say, that seems generous to say the least.
You got a little chill going up here.
I'm cold. I am cold. I love the fall, and it's great to play in. This is the perfect environment to play a soccer game in, because you're running, obviously sweating quite a bit. It's nice to play in a chillier environment, but for those of us who are not running around
in an open air booth,
where the AC is on, it's a little chilly.
Maybe that's why it's a little colder in here than 70 degrees.
Well, I'll tell you who hasn't been cold, Matt. The goalkeepers.
There you go.
Excellent first half, and excited to see these guys work through the second half.
Well, we knew what to expect from Ryan Troutman, right? When he got his opportunity a few weeks back against Florida Gulf Coast, he was outstanding, and then it just kind of continued. And him getting into the starting lineup coincided with the team going on a 6-match unbeaten streak. We did not know what to expect from Landon Amick. He's only played 7 minutes in his college career before tonight. He's been terrific.
It's kind of like for Louisville, it's kind of like a lot of the times NHL teams, a goalie will get hot, and maybe it's not the goalie you thought it would be in the back of the frame going into the postseason, that just stays there and carries you through the postseason. So Troutman has been a difference maker for the Cards.
And they have the luxury of having legitimately 2 Power 5 starting keepers.
Kornecki is excellent
rotating.
Too. Yeah.
Slipped ahead for Kamara. Haven't seen him on the end of the ball too much. And the offside flag comes up.
Yeah, Abu Kamara a little antsy there. He's not really been all that connected today, which is a tough thing for Louisville, and he just just ever so slightly was off there.
He's riding a bit of a drought for him. 3 matches without a goal for the top returning goal scorer amongst Power 5 teams. Stuck on 3 goals for the season right now. Great takeaway by Philip Fredall. And he's ahead to Kamara, who has some space. It was well played by Mark Vila. Diaz wins it back. Road out wide for Makumbaba.
That's why you bring in a guy like Fada. We're talking about in the first half, his ability to shield off defenders, hold up possession, and now Evansville can stay on the ball a little bit longer.
And the flag comes up on Tancredi Fada, the freshman from Italy who replaced Nacho Diaz at the end of the first half.
Yeah, he's not so sure about that call, and it looked like they timed it up right, but obviously I don't have the line that the AR had there, but a couple of good, dangerous goal-scoring threats just slightly off last minute or two.
Huge upset in the ACC. William and Mary goes to Wake Forest, takes down the Demon Deacons 2-1. Your thoughts?
Well, you see it right there. Wake Forest 1-3 in its last 4 after such a strong start, but it's a big win for William and Mary, and one of the oldest schools in the country getting a little notch for its season. That's a nice win for them.
It's an interesting turn in the year for Wake Forest, who started out so well, 9-0 through their first 9 matches. But you can expect the Demon Deacons at some point to find their footing again ahead of the postseason. I mean, it's just, they always do.
Yeah, I was going to say, they'll be fine. They'll figure it out. They got time.
Wagner wins a foul. I believe it'll go against Philip Fredhall. And a restart in a dangerous area for Evansville.
Well, Fredhall, I think he probably, based on where they were, felt a little isolated defensively, but he did not need to pull on the jersey there. He had help arriving behind him, or guys at least in a spot that they could defend for him. But this is, as you said, Matt, this is a really good spot. Might be close enough to have a shot here. It's a tough angle, but you also have that back post opportunity to deliver a good ball into some space, and you've got some big bodies up on that front line for Evansville.
It is Barcia and Hald, the man who had his penalty saved in the first half, standing over the ball. And it'll be Barcia to deliver. He goes for goal, and he misses left of the post.
It's a good hit, and it had pace on it. And the goalkeeper, Troutman, certainly was frozen a second there of all those runners, and that's what the attempt was trying to do, but just didn't have the pace and the location on it.
Well, with Wake Forest going down tonight, if Louisville can at least come away with a draw and a result against Syracuse on Friday, they will jump, you would think, a number of spots in the coaches' poll next Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, this is prime time to start making some moves, and these big games help NCAA tournament resumes too.
And that's really why it matters. I mean, tonight matters solely for the NCAA tournament, RPI, seeding. Obviously, it has no bearing on where the Cards will finish in the ACC or their positioning in the conference tournament. But now this team has aspirations of going deep in the NCAA tournament, and to do that, historically, it's important to host games.
Oh, absolutely. You've got to be a team that has that opportunity, and you've got to get the home crowd behind you. And right now, Louisville's sitting at number 8 in the RPI. That's a really good spot to be, with some big games coming up and some golden opportunities to push even higher up in the rankings.
There's Fred Hall, flips it over to Rode. Nice interplay there between Sample Rode and Fred Hall, and now Bakuzo out wide for Makumbaba. Ba flips it ahead. Kamara pings it in, and the Cards break the scoreless tie. 10 minutes into the second half.
Well, that is just a testament to patience there for Louisville, as Evansville upset here. I believe they thought that there was an offside flag that needed to go up. It's unclear what the argument is, but Makuma Ba tried the shot first, stuck with it, scoops it in, and I'll tell you what, I think that's brutal for Amick, because I'm pretty sure he's thinking his defender there, Vila, was going to get contact to it. He came out with his arms open, and that allowed the ball to sneak past him. And of course, Abu Kamara is not going to score a simpler goal in his career than that one.
Marshall Ray, the head coach for Evansville, and some of his players, including Barcia, who was just issued a yellow card, insistent that there should have been an offside flag. It did not come up. Kamara, his first goal in 4 matches, and it gives Louisville a 1-goal lead.
Well, it's always difficult when you've been playing so well as a goalkeeper, regardless of the flag situation here in the argument, to have it go loose like that on you, and he just was trying to come off his line. As we'll get another look at it here, Matt. He tried the shot first. It's blocked. And yeah, he's not offside. I'm not sure what the argument was.
Perhaps they were looking for a foul there, contact with the keeper.
Yeah,
but to me, that looked like a 50-50 ball.
He never had possession of it there. It was not a clear knocking loose of the ball. If you're Kamara, I mean, that's a really smart play to just keep with the ball and just get your body in a position where if it's a deflection, it can happen like that, and it ends up in the back of the net. But you feel for Amick, because I think he was a little bit screened by his own defender there after trying to do the right thing and come off his line.
And he's played such a terrific game.
Excellent.
I mean, the first 45 minutes, he made 4 saves. 3 of them were excellent. 2 of them probably, goal-saving saves, where he was really stretched. And that one, just sort of ticky-tacky. Loose ball. Kamara puts it away. He has such a nose for goal. Now Diaz! And punched away by Amick.
Diaz put a little venom on that shot from a tight space, and it required a really good save. Speaking of Amick making good saves, look at this. Don't underestimate how difficult this is. That has some venom. It's starting to dip toward the near post, and that's a reaction shoulder height save there, but he had to have strong hands.
Amick's earning his keep tonight in his first college start as a redshirt freshman out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Now the 6th corner of the night. It's Adekevich. Headed on by LaBelle and down by Josh Jones wide of the post.
That was nicely worked by Louisville to get Jones a second header there. And Evansville's got to kind of ride this wave here for a second and see if they can prevent that second goal. But I'll tell you what, Matt, that penalty is just looming very large right now if you're the Purple Aces.
Well, Nacho Diaz, the man who was subbed off just before the penalty was awarded, now comes back on for the first time. Leads the club with 7 goals in 10 matches. And Nkosi Graham, who provided a spark through the first 20 minutes of the first half, he is now back on. 2 men to keep an eye on, 7 and 20 in purple. You're right, Jeff. Such a good point. That penalty opportunity, a chance for Evansville to go up 1-0. They don't do it, and now they're chasing the match here in the final 30.
Yeah, chasing a match in which that penalty really is the only chance that they've truly had. They had one shot, kind of a last gasper, just before halftime that hit the roof of the net, but otherwise it's just been pretty bleak getting forward for Evansville.
Now a run from Makumbaba. He's got wingers. Nico Diaz stays with it. Chipped it ahead for Abu Kamara. And nobody home as Kamara tried to chip it back across the mouth of goal. And I believe it'll be a Louisville corner. There's Damian Barker-John, who had a couple of looks early. Checks back on. And Makumbaba will come off.
This is difficult for any opponent when you can bring on these weapons like this and just continue to push your opponent with different levels of pace and trickiness.
Road in swinging ball, and a great play by Amick, toppling over a teammate and putting his body on the line to secure it.
Immediately met by a couple of his teammates there to check on him. So these guys obviously have respect for their teammate regardless, but he has put in the type of performance that surely they're going to be giving him a lot of credit for when they're watching film back.
Now Matty Walters will come on for Nico Diaz. No, it'll be for Philip Fredhall. Matty Walters, the Bowling Green State transfer. Missed the first 4 matches with a hammy injury. Returned against Duke and has been a pivotal sub off the bench ever since. Now McManus will come on for Kamara. It's a hockey line change here for Fred, for John Michael Hayden. Kamara, though, can go to the bench knowing he's given his team a 1-goal lead.
Yeah, and he's stuck with it. I know sometimes it's frustrating for a player like that. He's so good at running off the back shoulders of defenders and just trying to find space. He's such a lethal finisher, but he's really played well in these 15 minutes in the start of the second half.
Nice idea from Brandon McManus. Diaz in a tussle with Oliver Hald. And punched away by Arntzen. And the flag comes up. Much to the chagrin of the Evansville bench.
I like the spark the Purple Aces have come with. This has been a strong performance. Obviously, if the result holds, they'll be disappointed having the penalty saved, but I think for a team coming into a tough environment against a really good opponent at home, they've shown themselves well so far.
Well, they've had a string of tough matches as well, coming off back-to-back 0-0 draws. As Oliver Hald gets up under his own power, it'll be Evansville ball. But Marshall Ray told us, listen, we're a bit disappointed coming off that Bradley match because we had the chances. One off the crossbar, one off the post. Now tonight, a penalty saved. Sort of continuing that theme of almost but not quite for this Evansville side, which returns 8 starters from last year, a team that shocked everybody in the Missouri Valley Conference and made it all the way to the championship game for the first time since 2009.
Yeah, and it starts to get frustrating for you when you're in a little bit of a drought here. They're now into, what's this, if my math is right, 5 straight scoreless halves going back those last 2+ games.
There's a shot from way out. And that tested Amick off the foot of Bakuzo, who scored last week against NC State.
That was a BB from Bakuzo. That is quite an effort there. It kind of came out of nowhere. Just takes a good touch, set himself up for it. He's kind of falling a little bit, but that required a solid reaction save there from Amick.
Saunders Road, 10th corner of the night for Louisville. This time in, swinging ball, gets across, and Amick is there, scurrying off his line. UNC Greensboro hanging tough with Clemson, who are 2-2-1 in the last 5 matches. They've slipped all the way back to 18th in the country. And UNCG scored in the 61st minute to go back ahead. It was tied 1-1 at the half.
We know
we see 2 big upsets in the ACC tonight.
Well, we know from UNCG coming to Louisville that's a very good team. And if you're a big boy in one of the big boy conferences and you got to play them in the opening round of the NCAA tournament,
no thank you.
No way. Do not like that.
They led Louisville 1-0 after the first 45 minutes here earlier in the season. But they have some guys who are either Power 5 transfers or guys that came from programs that have made runs to the NCAA tournament in the last few years, in addition to a strong international contingent. Frankly, not unlike this Evansville team.
Yeah, you've got to work together your rosters here. There's no shortage of talent at the D1 level in the United States, especially when you can go international and get some kids. It's just a matter of finding the right pieces and fitting them all together in a system that works, and UNCG has done that.
Parker John, perhaps the fastest man on the Louisville roster, gets the break started. Now Parker John. Bakuzo keeps it alive for Saunders Road. Leads the ACC with 6 assists. Looking to dish it off. Walters turned away by Graham. Now Bakuzo again. Saunders Road, back post. Colasito headed it away. Now Sample. Back heel flip. Diaz with space. Turned it back to his left foot, and Amick is there to clean it up.
Yeah, that to me is an opportunity to hit it with your right and try to drag it across the frame there. But that was some really good stuff from Louisville, starting with the Barker-John combo play there to basically scoop up and into the area.
So Konstantinos Georgalides awaits entry. Started the match, and he is somebody who can create magic. We've seen that a time or two. 3 goals and a pair of assists this season. Nifty touch there from Walters. Just bended it out of bounds ahead of Saunders Road. Louisville have been so strong at home this year. 4-1-1. Their lone home loss, of course, against the top 5 Duke team. And they are +7 goal differential at home against opponents this season. And they've played some really tough teams. Think back to St. Louis, a top 10 team in the preseason, a Seattle team picked to win the WAC. This Evansville team picked to be a contender in the middle of the pack in the MVC. Of course, UNC Greensboro played here at Louisville earlier in the year.
And that's a big number to know you're confident at home, and they've been obviously very good on the road as well. But to say, hey, you're sitting 8th right now in the RPI, as we mentioned earlier, and you're zeroing in on the opportunity possibly to host some NCAA tournament games, to know that you play well here, I mean, that's huge.
Well, and the crowd has turned out this year for the Cards as well. Saunders Road has space, and he was blocked well that time by Ethan Garvey. But you think to the years that the Cards have had the deepest runs, they've been able to host NCAA tournament games here at Dr. Mark and Cindy Lynn Stadium, as Barker John was oh so close again to creating a goal-scoring opportunity.
It's a little bit of that tight space dribbling New York City kids having to play just in tight spaces, a lot of bodies, and he is not afraid. That thing almost had the right spin on it to come back. Just love the desire of a lot of these Louisville guys to go right at their defenders.
Marshall Ray trying to figure out how he can get his team to find the equalizer. Meanwhile, Saunders Road looking for another. Back across and off the top bar. Tipped away. It was Bacuzzo again. So close to finding goal number 2.
And a nice little pass in. It was tempting for Barker John. Good communication for Bacuzzo to say leave it. But good defending from Evansville to get at least a deflection on it. They've done a number of times tonight where their defenders have just gotten enough on it to prevent